Alright, what's going on, guys? Trev back again, here to bring you another video. This one's going to be doing another Walking Dead video leading into the second half of The Walking Dead Season 8. In this one, we're going to give our thoughts. We're going to take a look at some early reviews we have in for the mid-season premiere. And spoiler warning, as per usual, if you are not caught up for The Walking Dead, which is up to the mid-season finale for The Walking Dead Season 8, I'll put the link in the description so you guys can go ahead and check these out. This one is hosted from metro.co.uk, where they have some early mid-season premiere reviews in. So these are not my reviews. Of course, I get to see the episode when you guys do on, a premiere night, but, they allow some of the, more prominent critics out there for Walking Dead to, go ahead and watch it early and then post their early reviews. And we have some of them in now. We have a few of them in. So I wanted to go ahead and give our thoughts on those first before we get into some of your guys' Q&A questions. So the first one is from comicbook.com. And if you guys haven't seen, they do a lot of news videos for Walking Dead, so it's pretty cool. I reference them quite a bit, so they do a good job. The Walking Dead fans might come around to Carl's death after all, considering his send-off episode is a masterfully paced and emotionally devastating installment, setting the stage for Negan and Rick's feud to finally reach a conclusion. And if you guys saw my video about the synopses for this second half, it sounds like we will see the whole rest of the season taken up by all-out war, so the war most likely will not finish until the very end, until the very last episode for this season. So, in terms of their thoughts here and their verdict on what they thought about the mid-season premiere, masterfully paced and emotionally devastating. So, maybe somewhat similar to the Tyrese episode where you go in season 5, where you come back from a mid-season break and you see the last episode for Tyrese, except he's bitten and dies in the same episode. This one we find out Carl was bitten earlier, and then of course he's going to die in this mid-season premiere. So fans might come around to Carl's death after all, considering his send-off episode. So, also confirmation for anybody who's still kind of wondering or the theories about whether or not Carl will actually die. There you go. There's from comicbook.com. They've seen the episode, and it's his send-off episode. So also that gives us some information, too, that this will be Carl's last episode. We could read into it that way. So you know that, you won't have to be worrying about burial or things like that probably afterwards. It'll probably be all resolved in that episode with the return. And it's going to be an extended episode, so heads up for that, guys. And it's next Sunday night, so it's February 25th. So heavily looking forward to it. Can't wait to see that. And pretty good, just a quick review or comments from them. Den of Geek also had a verdict here. It says, and the episode's called Honor, by the way. Honor is emotional, packed with action, and some particularly gory bits. Well, that's good to hear, because we haven't seen too many gory parts in The Walking Dead recently, ever since, I want to say, the Season 7 premiere, when they kind of announced afterwards they were going to be kind of throttling back on the gore. Norman Reedus had commented on the one kill that he had there in the Season 7 mid-season finale, that they kind of didn't show the whole thing. There was more to it in that, so we kind of got the idea that they're throttling back on the gore a bit, but here they're saying there's some particularly gory bits, so that's good. And a few interesting twists that will undoubtedly keep fans talking until the season finale. So that part is very intriguing to me. A few interesting twists. Because I'm just thinking, what could the twist be, or what could they do in this mid-season finale that could be a twist? I mean, really the theme of the direction they're going in right now is Carl's bitten, Carl's going to die, Carl's going to probably be buried, and then they're going to probably go to the hilltop and move on with the story, and then the final battle will be near the end of the season, and that's it. So what twist could you have in this episode is interesting to see. So we're going to have to wait and see what that is. That will undoubtedly keep fans talking until the season finale. I will not say that Honor feels like a fresh new start for The Walking Dead, because it isn't. If anything, it feels like the beginning of the end of the Gimple era. So that's kind of a cool sort of description there. Beginning of the end for the Gimple era. And we did see in Season 3 of Fear the Walking Dead, it was a pretty kill-happy season with Dave Erickson moving on as showrunner. So a lot of us have kind of theorized that maybe he just decided, well, it's my last season, so I might as well kill everybody I want. I kill a whole bunch of people off. if Gimple knew it was his last season, he may have wanted to go out with some big things happening, and killing Carl off in this season certainly is something huge to be remembered for this season and a standout. Like in the comic book version, we don't have a death like that. Like there's some deaths in All Out War, but they're not like Carl. They're not like killing Carl off. So it's almost like the death of Carl almost outshadows All Out War, which is because it's so big. It's kind of crazy they're actually doing it. So strange, but I am intrigued by Den of Geeks' verdict here that. And some of the sites, by the way, it was mixed. Some of the sites liked it, a lot, thought it was a really good mid-season premiere. Others thought it was like, okay, or just mediocre, that kind of thing. So it doesn't feel like a fresh start, but it'll have some stuff that will keep us talking until the finale. Okay, we'll have to see what they're referring to, and we'll probably come back to that after we actually get to see the episode and be like, oh, there was a twist or something. So, strange, man, really strange. But yeah, it is the end of the Gimple era, and we'll have to see what Season 9 looks like with Angela Kang, new showrunner. So, again, I've done lots of videos on that one as well, too. The folks over at Insider, however, gave the most negative review, giving the episode a C+ rating, which is, for Walking Dead, I mean, that, considering it's one of the biggest shows on TV still, probably is still the biggest show on TV, really, in terms of, like, ratings overall per season of 16 episodes, that many ratings on a network like AMC for a drama-type series. A C+ rating is not good for a mid-season premiere. It says, while they said the scenes between Carl, Rick, and Michonne were top-notch, viewers will apparently be left disappointed by answers to the big questions. So, some emotional stuff for sure for Carl, Rick, and Michonne, because, that's obviously huge right now, but disappointed by answers to the big questions. So that's tricky. We're going to have to see what answers or what questions they're talking about by big questions. I mean, that to me is like maybe kind of some of the questions they gave us in some of the earlier episodes, like the Red-Eye Rick thing and the kind of dream sequence Rick is in and things like that. So we'll have to see. We'll have to see if that's what they're referring to. Maybe it's because some people wanted to see All Out War resolved sooner, but I mean, it makes total sense to stretch All Out War into this whole season and really dive into that, expand on All Out War a little bit, spend more time on that, and give us some of those big action sequences in the series, which personally I'm really glad to see that they're going for and they're doing, rather than like what they did with the Hunters, where they just killed them off in a couple episodes after Terminus. So when they could have really expanded on that, and it could have been really exciting. Insider's verdict: The Walking Dead mid-season premiere is neither one of the strongest nor one of the weakest premiere episodes. It's a fine episode of the series, and that may not be good enough for a show that is 8 seasons deep if it plans to keep powering on for years as AMC's flagship show. It makes this fan a little hesitant of the show's future direction without Riggs, whose character is still alive and a driving force in the comics. And that's one of the biggest questions is, and so they're basically saying here, my take on what Insider is saying not worth it. When I read that comment, I think not worth it. They're saying, in essence here, at least to me, the way I interpret it, it makes you question the future without Carl in it, and whether or not the death was worth it. So they're saying here that they still feel like it probably wasn't. The payoff for the death is not big enough to do it, considering the future of the show, what you want to see happen in the future, and how much you were going to use him from the comics if you just faithfully adapted those parts from the comic to TV series. So that's pretty negative for Walking Dead. C+ for Walking Dead is not great considering it's such a big series. And they're even questioning the future of the show and this kind of thing. Well, I mean, here's the thing, right? They've done over 100 episodes now, and this happens with every show. When you do that many episodes, 16 full episodes a year, you add on Fear the Walking Dead, you do that as well too, it's going to be very difficult to keep making things original all the time and keep having things be new, feel different, look different, characters all the time. It's constantly, they have to constantly reinvent the wheel of what they're doing with Walking Dead, even though it's still Walking Dead. Like if you see Whisperer War eventually in the TV series, the Whisperer War in the comics, it feels a lot like No Way Out in combination with some of the stuff we've seen in the TV series, but just bigger. It's like No Way Out being driven by a group. So it's pretty cool because it's like that. But it's like we've already seen No Way Out, right? We've already seen Merle and characters like this steer groups. For a while there, a lot of people thought the Wolves were going to do that. Anybody who leads a herd, like Rick and the others have kind of done that now, right? They led a herd to the sanctuary. So if we see the Whisperers do that later in the TV series, it's not going to have the same impact because we've already seen all these things prior. So it gets more and more difficult to keep the show fresh after you've done so many episodes over so many years. My take on it is I'm appreciative that the show is even still on after this many seasons and this many episodes, because so many others I've been reviewing over the years are not. Breaking Bad, ended. A lot of series like, Under the Dome. I mean, other shows that we'll have to see. We'll have to see how many seasons Stranger Things we'll get. I mean, so many other shows I've reviewed are not even on anymore, over the years. So at least the fact that The Walking Dead is still going and will continue at least with season 9 and see how that goes has me intrigued. But, I feel like with these kind of verdicts or these opinions, reviews, for the Walking Dead mid-season premiere, that's kind of a lot of what I kind of felt, what I've been seeing recently with Walking Dead. Some people really enjoying it, like myself. Other people are kind of like, it's kind of getting tired because it's been on for so many years. And, then you have people in the middle that are enjoying it, but maybe they're not enjoying it as much as sometimes they had in the past. Some people questioning, is it worth it to kill Carl off? And them bringing up, of course, Gimple moving on at the end of this season into his new role, and Angela Kang taking over. So let me know what you guys think about these reviews. And mixed, I guess, is the takeaway from this one. They're mixed reviews. They're, mostly positive, but no, middle of the road, I think, for this one. Not horrible, not fantastic, just middle of the road for this mid-season premiere. And I think we can come to expect that just due to the length of time The Walking Dead has already been on for. And we'll do a few questions from you guys. Today we are blue, da-ba-dee, right? That's fun. So I'm going to start changing. I use the background colors, but I got to change them up. So I hope I don't hurt any of your guys' eyes. Let me know if you don't like it. Frank Fletch Hacker says, do you think Z Nation could last longer than The Walking Dead, Trev? Show-wise only. So no way, dude, for Frank. No way. So Z Nation got renewed for a season 5, if you guys don't know, which is crazy by itself. I'd be more interested to see if Z Nation will outlast Fear the Walking Dead. Like if Z Nation will continue on longer than Fear the Walking Dead does. Z Nation gets almost no views now. Like it gets like 500,000 an episode, which is like, very, very low compared to Walking Dead type of, or Fear the Walking Dead even type of results. So we're going to have to see how long Z Nation's got left. I would not be surprised if the 5th season is its last. But will it last longer than the original Walking Dead series? That would be bizarro world if that happened, and I don't think that will ever happen. No way. There was a Walking Dead No Guarantees kind of sneak peek trailer on AMC's channel. I didn't really do a review for that one for you guys, but it's there. If you want to see, you can go watch it. It's like whatever. You get to see some stuff with Maggie and Hilltop, that kind of thing. So it's cool, but they released quite a few clips, and at this point, I just want to see it, man. It's like a week and a half left, so I just want to see it. Billy Jean says, Trav, I'd love to hear your thoughts on the effect Carl's death will have on Rick and Michonne's relationship now that they both now know what it's like to lose a child. Thanks, Trev. So it depends on the TV series version of Michonne and kind of what her backstory is. I'm trying to think if she had kids in the TV series version. In the comics, she did and she does. She in the TV series, I'm trying to think if she already would know that at this point. I would think she already would kind of know what that feels like. But for Carl, it's going to be rough, of course, because she's kind of taken on that role as a motherly figure in his life, and her and Rick have had this fairly new relationship. It's because it hasn't been that long since they started kind of going with each other, but it's been, for us a couple years in TV series time, maybe not quite as much, but it's been there, right? It's what it is. There's that. As far as Rick, I mean, I would think Rick would be crushed, but it sounds like, based on the trailers, he's going to channel all of that negative energy into trying to kill Negan. So that's what I think. I think we're probably going to see that. And, Michonne, they're just going to be like angry, mad as a bat out of hell, ready to just, take down the Saviors, take down Negan. So that's going to be kind of cool to see Rick kind of in his absolute no-nonsense type of mode, is what I'm mostly thinking. And somehow Carl convincing him not to kill Negan. So we'll have to see how that kind of comes into play too. Last one will be from Benny Cooper, who says, "Hey Trev, you finally convinced me to watch Fear the Walking Dead. So I caught up on all the episodes. I did really like it, but agree they got a little kill happy in the last season. Did you think so many of the deaths were really unceremonious? What do you think the reason is? Thanks." So I do think that it has a lot to do with the showrunner having switched and them kind of reinventing Fear, so they're not really so worried about, like when they ended season 3, they're like, I would kill off whoever we want because we don't even know like who's going to take over afterwards. But it's not his deal. It's kind of like, I'll kill off whoever I want. I'll have a great season 3. It'll be like, feather in the cap, because season 3 of Fear was hot. It was amazing, right? And then you give it over to somebody else, and then they can deal with the rest, right? They can build new characters and do whatever they want to do. You have a good run like Dave Erickson did, and you kind of wrap it up with pulling out all the stops. And he did that. He had a great end. So we'll see what Scott Gimple's end for The Walking Dead is going to look like at the end of The Walking Dead Season 8. Of course, a lot of things going to be changing in Season 9. New showrunner, him kind of taking a different position. So we'll see what that looks like. Anyway, that'll be it for today's video, guys. If you liked it, and I hope you did, please thumb it up below. You can share, you can favorite. And if you're new and you want to subscribe to the channel, I would appreciate it, and you can do it. You can subscribe at the bottom. That's it for this one. I'll see you guys again soon for another. As always, it's Trev, and I'm saying peace. Later, guys. See you soon.